Alrighty, boys and ladies, welcome to the Real Relay Podcast. We're in a brand new spot, ladies and gentlemen. We're in a brand new spot. We're over here. We moved from the Boston area. Well, we were right in Boston, right in Staples Connect, down in the Government Center.
Yep.
Now we're over in Somerville. We got about a couple of episodes left of the season before this goes wonky bananas and we hit the season finale. But we're still on a roll. We're still steamboating this bad, Larry. You already know we got a super special guest today. I know I said that to everybody, but it's a super special guest. Great friend of mine from high school.
Yep.
Incredible dude. Grind, hustle mentality. I don't want to take it away. Barbara, you want to do it? You want to have me do it?
Nah, you got it. You got it.
Damn.
Crack your soda. Crack your soda and
Take a sip.
Yeah, take your sip.
But you already know who's in the building. St. John's Prep, my guy from high school.
Shout out.
Shout out. Don't forget where your roots are. Don't
Yep.
sleep.
SJP.
One of the biggest grinders, hustlers in the game since day zero. You already know. Don't sleep. Listen to these gems. Jacob Gordon in the motherfucking building today. Real estate, you already know. You're going to get a little financial literacy 101 today, boys and ladies. Like, get ready to learn. Barbara's going to be your teacher. Well,
I'm going to be the student today.
We're being our student. He's a teacher today. So
trying.
go. Jake, how you feeling today? What's going on, my brother? How you doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good. Had a great day.
Yeah.
We're gonna finish it off with a bang here, so I'm excited to be.
He worked a
part of the
full
relay.
work day and came right out of here and got right in. Get closer to the mic if you need to. Grab that shit. Do what you got to do.
Dude, 6 a.m. We're waking up. But you know we're still going.
Grinding.
which is
Yes,
great.
sir.
Grinding. So, Barbara, go ahead. Start it off.
So,
We're gonna
yeah.
get in the vibes.
Jake, we usually like starting off the pod by asking a general question. You can take it however which way you will.
Okay.
But Jacob Gordon, who are you today?
Today, I'm a real estate agent, Boston, Greater Boston, New Hampshire. I own a couple other small businesses, but really my main goal and all my efforts are going into real estate, building up that business, which it's been fun, it's been really rewarding, but it's nowhere near where it's gonna be. So it's just a continuous grind. But answer your question, I'm a realtor, and I absolutely love it.
Okay, nice. What are the few side businesses you have?
So I have a auto detailing company. So Showroom Automotive on Instagram. Check us out. We do high-end luxury detailing, paint correction, interior details, the boring stuff. I also have an event production business. So weddings, my niche is private high schools. So I DJ all the private high schools around here. I'm doing a lot with the universities like Simmons and Suffolk, that type of stuff. And then I do real estate now, full time. So I did those previously, and then COVID kind of shut them down. And now we're doing real estate full time. I got some teams working those, but it's real estate.
Nice. Wow. So you grew those two businesses to a point where you don't need to manage them yourself anymore. They kind of take care of themselves.
Yes. I mean, I'm more on the management side of them. I don't really go out and DJ anymore.
Yeah.
But, I'm kind of logistics. So I kind of book everything, do the invoices, download the music, hand it out, that type of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
The dream.
Drop some gems. I need some gems
Man's
right
just
now.
playing GTA in real life.
It's kind of tough because we were like, before we started talking, we just like spoke before this, and we talked about a lot of shit that we're going to talk about now.
Yeah.
So now let's kind of get into it, Barbara. Start.
Yeah. So tell me about like your first hustle. What was your first like hustle where you were like, oh, I made $1?
First hustle, DJ the ice cream social at my elementary school.
Nice.
People knew I was super into music. I loved speakers. Someone asked me, do you DJ? Do you play music in front of people? And I just kind of was thinking, I was like, yeah, I'll bullshit my way through that. Been DJing ever since. So that was probably third grade. Made like $200 in 4 hours, and I was like, shit, I could scale this. And that's all I thought about. High school had horrible grades because all I did was work. But that's the same with every entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
I fucking hate school.
Yeah.
Love learning, hate school. But that was my first time when I really realized
Keep
that I
it
could make
real.
money.
Let them know.
Yeah.
That's how it is. It's the college ain't for everybody.
No, it's not.
You know what I mean?
I hustled through college. I wasn't very good at it. Learned a lot, but again, I didn't get very good grades. But I feel like that's the same with any good entrepreneur.
You got to get through. You got to get that bachelor's.
Yeah.
It's like a stamp of approval, essentially, like a certificate. Like, okay, you're not a complete fucking doink. You know what I mean?
It's annoying now because you have to do it because so many people, it's a requirement. I think that's kind of bullshit, to be quite honest with you, because I know a lot of educated people who aren't smart, if that makes sense. Yeah.
No, I see what you're saying. There's street smarts, there's book smarts.
Yeah.
There's like, you could be great in business, starting a business, but you're just not good at the curriculum.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You know what I mean? That's okay.
Yeah.
People learn differently. I think in this generation, this age, like I think that became more apparent.
Yes.
You know, like I think it like with people like I don't know like Gary Vee for example,
Yeah.
and like all these big guys that talk, and it's just like it's not for everybody.
No.
You know what I mean? So talk a little bit about. Go ahead, Barbara. I don't want to take it from you.
Yeah, talk a little bit about how you got into the car detailing side. When did you start that? How'd you get into it?
Yeah, so always been a car guy, obsessed with cars. I mean, I can come back and do a whole new podcast.
What do you
about-
drive right
about
now?
Cars. I've got a BMW 3 Series.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got
M3 or
No, it's not the M3.
okay.
Not yet. I got to sell some more homes for that. No, but it's
my
got
dad's got a 540.
those are sick, dude.
Yeah,
Those are sick.
fucking fat V8 in there.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I got the I got the N52, so the inline 6-cylinder, but it's got a 6-speed. It's got all-wheel drive. It's fun. When it snows, you can throw it around the corner pretty easily.
Nice.
Hey, come on. He's 20. How old are you? 25.
Yeah, 25.
Come on, give him a little credit. Jesus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
328.
328. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Stick or manual or automatic?
No, it's a stick, 6-speed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, you're a fucking beast.
Yeah, it's the older one.
Man's just popping the clutch, pulling the handbrake around the fucking.
Fucking. I was playing Forza Horizon, the new one,
yep.
with my buddy Jack McCann, and he taught me how to drive stick on that game. It's
Yeah.
fucking unreal, dude.
Dude,
Once
it's
you
so much fun.
like let go from automatic to stick, it's awesome.
Oh yeah, I mean, I grew up. My family, you have to drive a stick in order to get a car, right? Because you don't want to be stranded somewhere. So I grew up, had a stick, had a Saab 6-speed. I bought this old BMW 6-speed. I leased a Mercedes, like the CLA, when I was booling out. Wasted all my money on it. Waste of cash. But it was so boring. Like going back and being in real estate, all you do is drive. Essentially, you drive and you talk to people. So you might as well kind of make that trip from A to B.
Fun.
It's fun, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But when
You gotta show with the glasses,
Yeah.
the shades on, takes them off. Let's go get a deal. Let's go close this shit.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you're leaning back.
And you leaning back, you
Slam it
just
through gears.
You're
Yeah.
fucking
Fast and Furious.
On the phone, it's like stick shift or driving with a knee. Like
He's like playing a little Dirk in the
yeah, that's
background.
right, that's right.
Oh my god,
Hands
that's
down.
awesome. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's a good time.
that's lit. Okay. So you got into the detailing
Yeah.
when? I
No.
Sidetracked
We got
about the car,
sidetracked.
yeah.
Started that freshman year of high school. I used to detail like my family's cars, and then one day I had to borrow my aunt's car, and then she's like, "Okay, yeah." I'm like, "I'll pay you." She's like, "No, just clean it." And then that's another thing where I got tipped, and I was like, "Oh shit, I can make money on this." And then I joined a bunch of Facebook groups for my local town, Andover Moms. It's the worst Facebook
Oh my
group
God.
ever.
Fat
Everyone-
just fucking
everyone
milk
just
the
has
shit
one.
out of them.
Fat
Oh,
bread.
dude.
Fat
Oh
bread
my
coming
God.
out of that.
Dude,
my Honda Odyssey?
I joke. I've detailed every Suburban and Escalade in my town. That's
Wow.
nuts. I was doing 360 cars a year, which is
Wow, car a day?
crazy. Yeah, car a day. Double on the weekends. We'll do 4 on the Saturday, Sunday.
Damn, man, you fucking grind.
It was fun,
Oh my
though.
god, damn.
How much an hour?
I didn't do hours, so it was
Like what, per vehicle or some shit?
yeah, per vehicle. I think the average was like $100 an hour.
Jesus
But
Christ,
you
dude.
had to buy a lot into it. So into it, I probably spent $10,000 in materials, equipment, and everything. But once you get it, I mean, I still have the same materials that I was using 6 years ago, as far as like the air compressors and the buffers and stuff. The initial startup cost is hard, but that's the hardest part with most businesses is getting the equipment to make it happen.
Even with a podcast like this.
Even with a podcast, yeah, exactly. So that's how I got into it. Again, it was one of those things where I can make money in this, and then you just keep doing it.
When did you get some like employees?
I started hiring. I hired my friend in high school, which, by the way, don't do. I learned my lesson there. You want to separate business from friends for the most part, unless you have like a good chemistry. Like I feel like
We're doing a great job.
I think we're doing a
feel
pretty
like
decent job.
We're
Yeah.
fucked.
Yeah. Behind the scenes, you're just screaming at each
Yeah, I
other.
fucking hate this guy.
Yeah, I feel you.
So I hire people straight out of high school. Now, I've had to interview a lot of people. I'm still hiring. But I went full-time remote when I was in college. So I had people, went to school at Suffolk and Boston, lived in Boston for 3 years. And, I had people detailing cars back home. It was really good.
This is your journey. This is your origin story.
Yeah, exactly. But it's been really fun. It's been rewarding. But again, now it's just property. Nonstop.
Okay, so when did you get into the real estate stuff? When did you know?
Here's the juice.
Yeah.
Here's the juice.
Yeah.
we go.
Yeah. No. So I minored in finance in college, or I took a bunch of finance classes.
You say you went to Suffolk?
I went to Suffolk. Yeah.
Okay.
I got a business degree, and part of that, the majority of your classes is
Managerial,
finance. Yeah.
accounting,
Yeah.
financial
Exactly.
accounting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I grew up around people, and I would detail all these cars, and out of the people who had the nicest cars, the Bentleys, the Ferraris, the Rolls Royces, the Range Rover Velars, they were all real estate developers for the most part. There was the odd one out who was going to be like a brain surgeon, that type of stuff. But I found real estate was the key driver to most of these, very wealthy people. And, I would always take my time and ask them kind of how they got into it. And it was just, buy your first house, rent it out, do it again. And that's when I kind of opened my eyes and I was like, wow, you can make a ton of money in real estate and it's not super hard, which is the scariest part. People don't understand how easy it is.
Break down the keys.
Okay, so the keys, you obviously have to save up for your down payment, right? A lot of people think it's 20%. It hasn't been 20% for years.
Is it like 3.5%?
You can do 3.5% for an FHA loan or a first-time home buyer loan. You can also do it. You can do a conventional for 5%, right? Which is way better. I can get into the details later, but as far as how the bank will evaluate a property, conventional is way easier to convince the bank to give you the money than with an FHA loan. That being said, save up money for your down payment. The trick with this is if you're going to do 5% down, you have to live in that property for 1 year before you can move out. Easy. Super easy. The hardest part right now, especially if you're looking to buy in this market, is finding the deals. By far the hardest part. So when I found mine, I bought a house. I closed on it in December. It was my first single family. I was putting in offers for a year before that, looking at multifamilies. All I wanted was a multifamily. And I still tell people.
Like a 2-unit or 3-unit?
2-unit, yep. So, different, you have 2 different kitchens, 2 different units under the same building. That's what classifies, a multifamily. Those are amazing only because you can live in one and you can still generate rent from the other. And that's going to help you pay down your mortgage.
Right.
If you buy a 4-unit, a lot of times that building's going to pay you to live in it. So you do that for a year. During that year, you got to be scouting out, trying to find that next deal. And then you just move out, keep that one, rent the unit that you were in.
Rinse and repeat.
Just keep doing it. Yeah.
That's lit.
So there's this guy that I always see on Instagram, this Asian guy. He calls it the Bur Method.
Yeah, that's
it's like
right.
Buy, renovate, refinance, repeat.
Yep.
Is that a thing?
No, it's definitely a thing. It's a great method. It's kind of what I'm doing right now. Like I didn't intentionally do it, but looking back at it, I'm actually just now making this realization. That's exactly what I did. I bought my house. I've been renovating it ever since. I just finished, and I'm gonna rent it out and buy another one. But it's definitely a good method. I prefer doing the multifamily method just because you can still do the Bur Method with multifamilies. But for me, I'm living in this house alone, right? So I'm paying that monthly mortgage, and that sucks. Like people don't tell you. I mean, paying rent sucks. Paying a mortgage sucks only because if you don't pay it, you're gonna get hit, and you're not gonna be able to buy that next house. Whereas with renting, there's not really much you can do, and you're protected by the tenant rights. And if you're in Massachusetts, the tenants have all the rights, which is also something you need to know. When you're the landlord, Massachusetts is not a tenant or not a landlord-friendly state.
What are some landlord-friendly states if I want to buy my first investment property?
Florida's pretty good for the most part. Florida, I believe Nevada is pretty good too. You have to double check me on that. But I believe in Nevada they can kick you out like right there if you don't pay, which is nuts. In Massachusetts, you can, for lack of a better word, you can squat there for a full year until you can get into the court system to actually get someone out of your house, which means you're paying for them to live there, which to me is just ridiculous because you're the one who, saved up your money. You're the one who took that huge risk. And that's why it's so important to qualify the tenants before you actually let them live in your property, which I work a lot with landlords, and a lot of people don't realize how important it is to, pre-qualify your tenants to make sure that they're actually good enough. They're making enough money to actually meet, the monthly rent and, insurance on top of that.
So I remember in like the 2007, 2008 financial crisis, the loans they were giving out were the acronym for them was called Ninja loans, no income, no job.
Yeah.
So that's basically what you're saying, like in terms of qualification?
Yeah. So for me, when I'm working for the landlord, and I've not most of my business, but I've done a lot of it where a landlord will hire me and I'll find a tenant. I require 3.5 times the monthly rent. You got to have at least a 650 FICO score, and a lot of times there's going to be no pets. It's really hard to find good tenants. You gotta publish that shit everywhere. You gotta advertise it everywhere.
What websites do you use to like publish it?
So I'm part of the I'm part of Zillow, right? So Zillow has 400 websites underneath them. So when you publish it to MLS and you're part of Zillow, it'll be pushed everywhere. Zillow owns Trulia, apartments.com. I mean, it's literally endless.
Realtor.com.
Realtor.com. Actually, Realtor is the only one that's not part of Zillow.
Wow.
Yeah. So in Massachusetts, if you're a real estate agent, you're part of MLS, or the multiple listing service. It's what the professionals use, professional to professional. If you're shopping for a home, a lot of times your realtor will set you up on like the MLS strip, which will give you properties that meet your criteria every day. Realtor.com is owned by MLS, or the National Association of Realtors. I find that Realtor.com, although it's not as good, has more accurate information. As far as if you're looking at a house and seeing if it's still available, Zillow will tell you later than Realtor.com will if it's available or not.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yep.
Okay. So for the people that would watch this and, could be interested in real estate and getting into
Whether you're a younger audience or older audience,
Yep.
but mainly our audience is young.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
and they might be either interested on like the broker side, like becoming a real estate agent. How do you suggest like breaking into that?
Getting into real estate?
Yeah, how'd you do it? What tips and tricks would you give?
Yep. So I've been obsessed with real estate since high school. I've always figured out a way to kind of get into it. It wasn't until I detailed my now mentor's car that I was able to kind of get the foot in the door. The biggest thing is honestly just take the class and get your license. Getting your Massachusetts and New Hampshire real estate license is way too easy. Literally anyone can do it.
How'd you do it?
I took actually I'll give them a plug. Freedom Trail Real Estate.
Freedom Trail Real Estate.
Freedom Trail Real Estate. Honestly, they're fantastic. Everyone I know who's taken classes with them has passed. I mean, you can take the test multiple times. You're not penalized for it, but getting your license is super easy. It's nuts what real estate does, and that's why I think real estate's such a good investment. I mean, you can talk to grandparents, parents everywhere, older people. They'll buy these houses for say you're in Reading, you bought. After 2008, you paid $250 for a house. That house is now going to be worth minimum $600,000, which is the appreciation of things. And in real estate and in real estate investing, there's 4 components of total return. There's cash on cash, which is how much money you make every month divided by what you paid for it. So you're looking at buying a multifamily. You pay $100,000 for that multifamily, and it generates $10,000 per year. That's a 10 cap property. Or 10% cash on cash return.
Like rate of return, like the
rate of return.
S&P generates about 8 to 12 a year.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
But in addition to that, there's principal pay down, which is how much you're paying your mortgage down, which is obviously going to affect
contributing to that equity.
Correct. Cash on cash, principal pay down. Tax gain or loss is a big one. So last year I had to pay a ton of taxes. I wasn't a homeowner. This year, still paying a lot of taxes, but slightly less because you can write off your interest payments on your mortgage from your taxable income.
I do that on my student loans.
Yeah, it's exactly same thing.
Yeah.
So that's money that you're going to take. Principal pay down, tax gain or loss, and appreciation. In Massachusetts, last year we saw 15% appreciation in 1 year. So if you paid $100,000 for property, that property is now worth $115,000, which is absolutely crazy to me. I mean, show me a stock that's going to make 15% year after year.
I mean, it's not a lot.
There's not a lot. And in real estate, it's a hard asset, right? So right now we're looking at banks who are buying, single family homes because they're trying to hedge inflation. Inflation was 7.5 now, 8?
Yeah.
Which is, we're just printing more money out there, and it's making the dollar in your pocket worth less and less every year.
Yeah.
How do you want to save your money? You put it into gold or, silver or hard asset.
Stake it in Bitcoin for 6.5%.
Yeah. Less volatile than that. Yeah, exactly. So it's all about kind of hard assets. And that's why I think real estate is just such a great investment overall. It's hard to get into it. But when you have it, you can just scale it so easily.
Sheesh. Wow.
Man, all right, I'll let you.
Hey,
I'll let you go.
Hey, listen.
Because that was a whole lot of stuff that I need to digest.
Yeah.
Real Relay family, hold on, we need a break. We go back to you after the commercial break.
Yeah.
That's good, man. Well, that's why I wanted you to come on, because I knew how much of a hustler you were, how much of a grinder you were, and I knew you were very passionate about anything you do and everything you do.
Appreciate it.
Especially when it comes to real estate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I felt like not only did I need some fucking knowledge, some one-on-one schooling, but so does the fam. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So I appreciate that you coming on, man. And so I guess my next question would be, what's the biggest lesson you've learned throughout all this? And what's the biggest hurdle and what's the biggest lesson you've learned throughout your time in being a realtor?
So biggest hurdle. So before I had what's called black cord fever, which is when you're afraid to pick up the phone. So my first year in real estate, you don't make any money. My first year in real estate, I made maybe $25,000, and I made that in the last 2 months of the year. So that first couple months, the first 7 months usually, all you're doing is calling, trying to find, a client to work for. So for me, I used to cold call houses. If you tried to sell your house and then you took it off the market, I was able to find your number and I would call you. I'm like, hey, what's going on with that house? How can I show you that I can sell it better than the last guy? Or, why did you take it off the market? The biggest lesson I've learned, and this is a good thing for anyone in sales, JAQ, just ask questions. You cannot get in trouble when you only ask questions. I feel like
There's no dumb questions?
no, and you just keep asking them.
You said JAQ?
Yeah, JAQ. Just
So
ask questions.
the acronym I know is called TED-W. It's like
that?
tell me, explain to me, describe to me,
I like that.
and walk me through.
Okay, I like that a lot.
Yeah, so similar.
Yeah, just ask questions is fantastic. It's not just in real estate though. You can use this at a bar. Like if you're on a date or you're networking with people.
You don't talk to girls.
Yeah, this would be good. This would be good advice for Miami.
I don't know if those girls are talking.
Yeah, they're just sitting there looking pretty.
Yeah. No, people love talking about themselves, and that's the biggest thing. I'm sitting here loving it, right? You guys, people love talking.
I
about
talk too
themselves.
fucking much, so I love hearing other people's stories. You know what I mean? I feel you.
You can't get in trouble at just asking questions. You're not going to make any statements that are going to offend people. If you just ask questions, it shows that you're interested in them and you care about them.
So you were scared to pick up the phones.
Yeah, I mean, people don't tell you this, but it's intimidating, especially when you're new and you don't know what the hell you're doing. It's very much a fake it till you make it type of thing, but it's hard to do. And what's scary about real estate is the liabilities in it. As a real estate agent, there's a few things you can't talk about. One being, the ethnical makeup of a neighborhood. I can't tell you how good the schools are. I can't tell you if the neighborhood is safe or not. Because if I tell you, oh, this is a super safe neighborhood, and you buy that house and you decide it's not safe, I'm going to be the one buying that house from you, and I'm going to be...
Everyone also has different definitions of safe neighborhood.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Good schooling system.
Yeah.
I mean...
So real estate...
You can't even make an assumption. No. Can you not make any assumption based on like SAT scores or statistics or not?
You don't say anything.
Nothing?
Because...
So you let the buyer do all that research?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell them, I'll give them I'm like, hey, Google it. I legally cannot tell you this. It's the liability that's the scariest part in real estate, hands down. You can get sued for tens of thousands of dollars for like the single offense.
Jesus.
Which is nuts.
Damn. I was gonna say no, go continue.
No.
Oh, I was gonna say I think having a mentor is very important, and we talked briefly about mentors before the cameras came on and everything like that. You have a mentor.
I do. Yeah, I've got
a couple. About your mentor?
Yep, of course. So
give him a plug, a little shout out.
Yeah, you guys probably won't know him. My mentor's name is Bob Bolin. I've got a couple other mentors, but he's kind of my main one who I talk to every day. We got a weekly, Tuesdays with Bob is what we call it. And we go in there.
Tuesdays with
Bob. He's great. We just go over kind of what you've done for the week. And the biggest part of having a mentor is making them keep you accountable. So in not just real estate, but if you want to be successful in anything, it's all about diligence and being self-sufficient and actually holding yourself accountable for what you say you need to do. So the way I set it up is I have a daily activity sheet, if you would, where I get in there and I have what's called an ideal day. And this is something where you sit back and you go through what is going to make this day a 10. So for me, I prospect from 10 to 11 every day. Prospecting is, I'm calling, I'm looking for more people to work with. I'm looking for buyers, I'm looking for sellers, people who want to sell their house, people who want to invest, that type of stuff. After that, I do follow-up.
So would I be a prospect to you? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, do you want to buy a home?
I mean, I want to buy an investment property in the next 6 years.
Then y'all trying to fucking kiss over here.
No,
you gotta buy like 15,000 saved.
Yeah, you'd be a prospect. You're what's called in sales. You're a lead.
He's like,
I'm a warm lead.
Take my card. Yeah.
Don't worry, I already have it right here.
Yeah. No, you're what's called a lead, right? And in sales, leads are key. The more leads you have, the more money you're going to make. Sales, it's a numbers game, right? So the way it goes is if you have 100 leads, 10% of them are probably going to do something. The rest of them you have to work on for years. I have this one older lady in North Andover, and I've been calling her for 3 years, every month. How's it going? Just to catch up, because I want to be top of mind. Because when she eventually sells, I want to get that listing.
Right. Damn, so you're playing the people's long-term game.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Jesus Christ.
That being said, I mean, buying a home is the largest financial decision of your life. You want to have someone who's very good at their job to guide you through that. And if you don't, I mean, a mistake in real estate costs a lot of money. I mean, there's no denying it. It's one of the largest transactions.
I was gonna say, work. How do you have a good work-life balance? Does your work become your life? Do you become like it becomes a little muddy right there?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely does. I don't have a very good work-life balance. I mean, I'll be honest with you. At the same point, my team in Andover is very tight. We're all best friends. So it's hard to get away from it when your best friends all have the same job as you. True. So, we'll go out drinking, go out in Boston, go to the clubs, and, on the way home, we always end up talking about real estate, always. But it's fun because when you talk to other professionals who have the exact same drive as you,
hypes you up.
It hypes you up. And that's the biggest thing with my company is you get to see people doing so well, and you're like, shit.
That's what I was telling Barbara, like, even when I go out, I'm not. I mean, I'm out, but
you're in your head.
Yep. Always prospecting.
I'm always prospecting. I'd be out in the club. I'd be anywhere. I could be on the street. I could be at a corner store at a bodega, and I'm networking.
Oh yeah, always.
Especially when you have like a brand like this, like a media group, like you're always working.
Yeah.
I was on the train. I was on the Amtrak, and I met this dude, young kid. I think it's Charlie. His name is Charlie Chuck, and he makes beats. And I'm like, you making a beat on Fruity Loops right now? And granted, do I know, I used to make beats and shit like that. And so I know the software a little bit. I feel like you have to be familiar with a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I was able to make that point, make that connection with him, be like, yo, that's Fruity Loops. You making a beat? He's like, yeah. And then the whole train ride on the Amtrak coming back from New York, he's making beats. And I'm like, yo, play me a beat when you're done. And so he's like, yeah. So he's just working. I thought he forgot. And right an hour before we got there, he tapped me on the shoulder and he was just like, yo, I finished the beat. You want to hear it? And it was fire. It was awesome. I referred him to obviously to our page, but I referred him to Josh Schuback and to Phoenix Downs and John Scott to be like, yo, you got to go do their internship program. And I don't know if he ever reached out, but he's been emailing us to send us beats, and that's what I'm saying. You got to always be connecting, always networking, always grinding. You're in for us, we're in our mid-20s.
Yep.
This is it. If you want to work your ass off right now to set yourself up for the future.
Yep.
Your 30s are your new 20s. You know what I mean? Everyone's so fucking... nothing down about if you want to get married, you want to have kids right now, you want to do your thing right now, do your thing. But that's just not where we are at right now. And I feel like I said, when I moved to Miami, I feel like a lot of people are going to be on that type of time.
Yep.
Want to create, want to invest, want to get after it, that fast life. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's really where I want to kind of push myself and the brand towards over there. You know what I mean? And couldn't have done it without Boston. But you're on the same time, so I think it's good to keep grinding, but also have a work-life balance. How do you decompress? You know what I mean? But if you're not doing real estate, you're not doing how do you just chill?
I still DJ, right? So we talked about the event production business. Yep. Music is kind of how I relax, honestly. Okay. I'll get home, however long I'm at the office. I'll come home and I'll listen to music, and that sounds dumb, but it's one of the best parts of my days. That being said, when I'm listening to music, I'm still looking at real estate. That's really all I care about.
You love it.
Dude, I eat, sleep, breathe it.
Damn.
I'm obsessed with it, hands down.
It's funny you say that because the past 2 months, I would say, I've been living and breathing
Zillow.
credit cards.
Yeah, okay, no kidding.
Yeah, so I just got this guy, the Chase Sapphire Preferred.
Yep.
And
show the camera, bro.
It's got my numbers on it.
Not
on the front. I got to spend $4,000 in 3 months.
Show it to the camera.
Yeah, right. I got to spend $4,000 in 3 months to get 80,000 points.
Did you get anything good?
Well, I haven't got the sign-up bonus yet.
I told him, give me that car. I'll spend it right now.
Yeah, easy. Are you kidding?
Spend that right now.
So I'm probably gonna use the points to book a vacation or some shit. But I've been obsessed with credit, finance, all that shit.
Yep.
I was gonna also say, I didn't mean to sidetrack you from your fucking your mentor.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, we just
Land the plane.
No, not land the plane, but damn, we gotta stay on track. Bring him back.
No. Yeah. Tuesday with Bob. He's a very interesting guy. He's probably
keep yourself accountable.
Keeps me accountable. So I had what's called an ideal day. So if I can get an ideal day, I get to kind of reward myself. So for me, I love chicken parms, right? Dude, it's awesome, right? So his whole kind of ideas is if you have yourself an ideal day, you have to reward yourself whether you want to or not. And then psychologically, deep down, it's going to make you want to do the same thing again. So that's what a good mentor should hold you accountable. There's the rewards and then there's the anti-rewards. So for me, I used to make 1,000 calls every day when I first started, which is an unbelievable amount. That's 4 hours in a little phone booth, just dialing new people. And I would do it where I could dial, but if I don't connect with you, I don't talk to you in person, I'm not counting you. And then one week I was supposed to hit 5,000 calls, 1,000 calls every day. And I did.
That's insane, bro. As a BDR, I was making like 100 calls a day, and it was a grind.
Bro,
Yeah,
it's a lot. Bro.
It's a lot.
Oh God, damn, bro.
It's a lot, and that's how you kind of get over the black cord fever, right? And not many people cold call anymore. People think it's archaic, but the people who own houses are older. Like, I'm not cold calling millennials. I'm cold calling, baby boomers and boomers.
We're cold calling millennials. We're cold calling like
that's got to be hard, man.
Because it's different. Because you got to like hit them up. You got to hit them up on
Instagram.
You got to hit them on Instagram
Yep.
or email or get in touch with their manager.
Yep.
Like, why are you socially active on Instagram?
But you don't pick up the phone.
But you don't pick up a phone or you don't even reply to a DM. I got to get to you based on another type of way, So it's all about perspective. It's not that I can't get in touch with you. It's how do I
get in touch?
with you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's the fun part about prospecting, right? So I've got a couple different ways, and I don't want to give away my secrets, but I'll cold call, right? That's what everyone does. I'll write letters. I've door knock too, where I'll pick out
door to door.
I'll pick out the rich streets. Like I'm going to West End next week. I'm going to knock on a bunch of doors, and that's a great way. It's scary as hell when you first start. Because no one wants to just knock on someone's door
in this generation.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But that's the best way to get face to face. And when you're in sales, you're a prospect. Until you sign a contract, in which case you're a client. But when you're getting face to face, that's another metric you can do. So when I was cold calling, I was doing 1,000 calls a day. I need to have at least 25 faces per week, which sounds like a really low amount, but nobody wants to meet up in person. And when I started full time, it was when COVID hit, right? So it was that much harder. But in a way, I'm blessed for it. I didn't make any money, but I was able to hone my skills really well because all you did was call, and it was just that much harder to get them.
What books did you read?
Big fan of Rich Dad Poor Dad.
I read that.
It's a good one. Yeah, Robert.
Did you read How to Win Friends and Influence People?
Yeah, it was a good one.
Great book.
Excellent
I read
book.
that.
Money Matters. My favorite one is Money Matches the Game. It's a Tony Robbins book. I love Tony Robbins. I think he's a weird guy, but he's absolutely brilliant. Read that. I like Gary Vee, like every millennial does.
Gary Vee is my guy.
Yeah, like every millennial does.
And fuck you if you say anything about it, Connor. Go fuck yourself.
No, big fan of Gary Vee. And then
I've been fucking with my guy. Besides Gordon Ramsay, I love Dave Ramsey.
I love Gordon Ramsay.
I love Gordon Ramsay.
Grant Cardone.
I love Grant Cardone. I love Dave Ramsey. Like those are
Graham Steffens.
And fucking, I was gonna say I'm buying. What's the book I just gave you?
Faster, Smarter, Better.
Faster, Smarter, Better. And then I'm buying this customer success book as well too. I forget who the author is, but yeah, these books are great, man.
Yeah, there's a good one called Raving Fans, and it's all about how you can perfect customer service. So my goal, if I sell you a house, I want you to have such a good experience that you're not just recommending me, but you're going out of your way to recommend me. You're a raving fan. You're like, oh my God, my realtor was amazing. Here's his number. My expectation is after I close, I want you to have such a good time that, when we take the picture in front of your house, I want you to tag me in it. Yeah. My business is, if I sell you a house, I expect 3 people that to come buy a house with me or sell their house. And that's been the case, luckily, lucky enough. But it's a referral business. I feel like referrals are, the biggest compliment you can get because you've done such a good job that, you trust that, your friends are going to have a good time too.
That's the thing with like being a realtor. Like even with the guy I'm working out right now. Shout out Steven Vargas Group over there in Florida, in South Florida, Miami. My guy I'm working with right now, Mario, the bomb. You gotta be like that. You come off the scene. It's like you gotta have a good experience with with the agent. You know what I mean? And you have to have that good experience so you recommend. And don't give up.
Yep.
Even I told Mario at the bat, I wasn't really feeling it. You know what I mean? And I was kind of question mark. I was in, but kind of I was on the fence. Gerald wasn't really completely sold. I told him, I was like, let's stay in contact. You know what I mean? And he kept staying in contact, but in a polite way. He wasn't rude or disrespectful.
Professionally persistent.
Professionally persistent, and made sure I got all the info I needed, and stayed around, and just because of that, I had such a great experience with him, and I'm probably gonna end up selling with him. You know what I mean? And go and sign a deal with him. You know what I mean? And I think really the experience. If you have a really great experience and you go really hard, you're going to get that referral, which is really what you want. Great experience from top to bottom, no matter what. Lead with empathy and sympathy, and you're going to do fucking great.
Yeah, I like that. Lead with empathy and sympathy.
Yeah, so I'm saying, well, that's what Kevin Cooney taught us. Leading with empathy. Like, you have to.
Lead with empathy.
Like, no matter what you do, like, always lead with empathy because, bro, it makes the experience so much better.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's going to set you apart.
Yeah.
And people think there's a fucking magic sauce to everything. There's like a fucking magic juice and a formula. It's like, bro, just be a fucking real kind person.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That, and if you're genuine, that's going to come off and be like, you know what, I'm going to want to work with you again. Yo, buy from him and work with him. And like that just being a good person and being real is gonna take you a long way. You don't gotta be a fucking super genius.
Yep.
You don't gotta have 50 years in the game. Bro, some people just want a refreshing face of someone who's nice and who's willing to try new shit. I was telling you should get like on like Reddit, Discord.
Love Reddit.
Like
love Discord.
all these different.
Man's already tapped in, bro.
Dude, I love
Yeah,
that.
no, he's like, I can't give you the sauce.
Yeah, ain't nothing you tell him that he ain't done
I love
already.
that.
Yeah, I mean, I figured you'd probably be into it, but just in case, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? That's great. Do you have any, we were talking about like the difference between like
Yes.
owning versus renting.
Renting
Yeah.
versus
Owning versus
financing.
Yeah, yeah.
A car,
So, go
a
ahead, do your
house,
thing, do
your
an
thing.
apartment, anything.
Yeah, so I mean, not many people can afford to pay cash for a house, right? It's just
Well, no shit.
it's not. It's honestly, it's. I hate saying it because it's, why would you use your money when you can use OTM, other
Credit.
people's
Why
money?
would you use credit?
I'll use other people's money, right? That's the biggest thing. So if you can leverage 20% and add another 80 to it, which is if you're doing a 20% down payment. I just think opportunity cost is one of the biggest things to consider because my money is going to be worth less being parked into real estate, for 100% than for 20%, in other areas. That makes sense. So if I'm putting 20% of my money into a house, I still get to keep that other 80%, to invest and do other things. What was the question? I completely got sidetracked.
So renting versus leasing.
Oh yeah, renting versus leasing.
Excuse me,
Renting versus owning.
Owning, yeah.
So
I'm renting right now.
Yeah, and I rented in Fenway, hated it.
Why?
You like the Fenway area or just renting in general?
No, I hate renting in general, right? Because most of 90% of the time, that landlord has a mortgage, right? He does not own that property outright, and he's using you to pay off his mortgage.
Yeah, you're right.
So
It's just a pawn.
It feels kind of weird. Yeah,
yeah, but that's exactly what happens. So why pay someone else's mortgage when you can pay your own? And that's where we get into the four types of return. You skip out on all four types of real estate return when you rent. That being said, I know people who are very successful who rent because it fits their lifestyle, and that's another thing that you really need to look into. Are you kind of like the nomad lifestyle where you're moving around every couple of years? If you're like you, like I wouldn't unless it's a passive income property where you can rent it out. It might be better for you to rent just until you figure out where you want your home base to be.
We were saying like leasing a car.
Yeah, we were just talking about leasing a
financing
car
a car.
versus financing a car.
Yeah. So I own my car right now. My next one I'm gonna lease it only because I have an LLC. And when you lease a car, the whole thing's right off.
Write it off, yeah.
Yeah.
You should get
You gotta do the same thing.
what's the big Benz that's like over 10,000 pounds that technically you could-
Yeah. So
I know you're talking about.
No, well, the S550 or S560, the big kind of sedan
big
one.
boxy
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
right?
and then that's the G-Wagon. The G-Wagon is the boxy
G-Wagon,
one. So
yeah.
that's why you see so many of them on the roads is because they're over 6,000 pounds. And when a vehicle is over 6,000 pounds, it qualifies for Section 179. And Section 179,
Ooh,
if a vehicle is over 6,000 pounds,
Let them know.
big Mercedes.
Let me know.
Big Mercedes.
He's gonna be driving a fucking.
Let me know.
He's gonna be driving one of those in Miami.
The F-150s, that's the reason why it's the most popular car in America. If it's over 6,000 pounds, you can write that entire purchase price off of your taxable income, which is absolutely nuts. All the big real estate brokers, that's why you see them drive the G-Wagons, that's why you see them drive the S-Classes. I'm looking for a Lexus, GX460.
Oh, those are fat.
They're the SUVs, right? Only reason I want it, horrible on gas mileage, I mean, they're great cars all around, but it's over 6,000 pounds, and I do not want to pay, I want to be able to write it off of my taxable income, because that's how you save money. I was told, actually my mentor told me this, once you make over $200,000, your efforts are better spent at keeping your money from the government than making more money. That being said, find ways to skirt taxes. Not paying your taxes is illegal. Tax avoidance is not. And that's when real estate can be, that's how you compound real estate is through taxes. If you listen to Grant Cardone, he talks a lot about the 1031 exchange. The 1031 exchange allows you to defer the capital gains of a sale of a property if you roll it into another property within 6 months.
So just that Bur method, basically.
It's that Bur method, right? But it's for when you sell it. So, for instance, I did this 1031 exchange with one of my clients in New Hampshire. Well, it was one of my team's clients, right? Because my brokerage works as a team where we all work for one client. Anyway, this guy in my office had him, and he did 1031, and he had to sell for, I think it was like 31 million. On that 31 million, he was going to pay like 45% tax.
Jesus Christ!
Can you imagine that, right? And that's a ton of money. However, he 1031 exchanged it, and he used that 31 million to buy, a $40 million property, took a mortgage out on it, but he deferred that capital gains tax, and you can keep rolling it into bigger properties and bigger properties. So once it, once that property appreciates and it's worth more money, you can sell it, buy a similar one.
So, question: what you're saying is so the new property is $40 million. He sold the old one for 31.
Yeah.
So he really only took out a $9 million loan.
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? And you can
for a $40 million house.
Yep. And it's because, he was able to 1031 exchange it. And that's how you can really compound, your wealth, is you just keep 1031 exchanging, keep going from a little house to a slightly bigger one to a slightly bigger one until you get to the point where you have like thousands of units. And that's something I want to talk into. So when you're in real estate, the biggest thing is training, right? A lot of these big brokerages, I'm not going to slide them, but my advice if you were to go into real estate is to find a team. Right. And there's different types of, real estate agencies. An agency is kind of how I can represent you. I'm either a buyer's agent or a seller's agent. That's the agency agreement that we have together. You want to find a team because you want training, right? Training's the hardest part. And that's how I fell into where I work now. I work in Andover. I work at Signature Properties. My mentor, my boss was, number one agent in the U.S. for, 15 years. Or number one female agent in the U.S., number two overall. She's been number one in New England for like 30 years. She's insane.
Damn.
Her husband, Bob, who's my mentor, he was number one agent in the world with Prudential Real Estate for 14 years in a row.
Jesus.
Absolutely nuts.
What a beast.
Just a badass. I mean, he owned,
Damn.
at one point he owned 15,000 rental units and over 13 million square feet of commercial space. Dude is an absolute shark. But I haven't been able to, I wouldn't be able to be where I am today if
if he's a shark, you're a minnow right now.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I'm like
a fucking tadpole. I'm a fucking like little amoeba.
I'm like a goldfish right now.
Yeah, I'm an amoeba, bro.
But I want to get to that great white shark phase, and you do that through being trained. And for me, I get stuck in my ways pretty easily. So to find a mentor that can tell you, Jacob, you're being a dumbass. You got to do it this way.
Yeah.
At one point he sat in while I was cold calling. And you'd be like, "Why the fuck did you say it like that?" and that's what I really needed.
Yeah.
If you go to bigger brokerages, you don't get that type of one-on-one experience, especially with people who are hyper successful. Like,
was he open? Is he open to like change though? Like, is he?
Oh,
open?
yeah.
Like, like, is he kind of like stuck in a way, or like, is he open to the new ideas and shit?
Yeah. So he actually.
Granted, he does have all the sauce.
Yeah,
He's a fountain of knowledge.
To an extent, you know what I mean?
So I mean, he's a serial entrepreneur. He owns a bunch of different companies. The biggest one right now, where he's kind of building up, is the Revolutionary Clinics. They're big, cannabis dispensary, growing operation and dispensaries. But this dude's owned businesses and everything. At one point, he was one of the biggest, cattle manufacturers in the U.S., sold like 5% of the world's beef. He went on to, his brother's incredible. He's a shareholder in Beyond Meat. This dude is absolutely nuts. So I kind of lucked out in having him and finding him in my hometown. Just from detailing some guy's car. It's amazing how
you never know.
It's crazy how the hustle really got you there, right?
It's like I said earlier, you might meet some guy on an Amtrak train. You might be detailing his wife's car. I don't know, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, you never know. Mm-hmm. And all it takes is for one weird mishap to change your entire life.
Yeah, no, it's true.
You know what I mean? So I guess one of my final questions here as we're wrapping up is kind of like, first of all, actually not before I ask that. Yeah. What kind of advice would you give to someone who's kind of on the come up?
On the come up?
The come up. Maybe like wants to kind of follow a similar path that you are. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like very similar. Like, what would you say to someone that's like, or maybe someone that's older?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That wants to kind of go back and do that. Like, what advice would you give to people like that?
Have an ideal day, which is, an
ideal day. What is that?
An ideal day is, how you're going to be most productive. So for me, I'm most productive between 8 and 10 a.m. So I do the hardest stuff in the mornings. and I time block. And when I mean ideal day, I mean it's time blocked.
On your calendar.
Segments. Yeah, in my calendar.
You block
right?
shit off.
Focus
Yeah.
time,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Shit like that.
So between 10 and 12 when I prospect, my computer's off. I put it on. What's it called?
Do not disturb.
I put it on do not disturb, or like I have it customized to work settings, so like I only get like work calls or people who aren't in my contacts. It's all about time blocking, right? And you have to be really diligent about it. My mentor, in a way, I print that out the sheet, right? It's called the daily accountability sheet, and you write down, it starts at 8 and it goes till 8 at night, and you write down, what you did in those hours, and like he'll review it with you, which is nuts. And he's one of those people who is going to hold you accountable.
Damn.
The biggest thing you can do is, set, weekly goals, set monthly goals. My biggest thing is to write everything down, right? I'm really big into, pen and paper. I feel like when you write stuff down, you put it out into the universe. I'm a big believer in, energies and, frequencies. What you put out there is what is going to come back at you. So if you're consistently looking at one of your goals, it's going to happen one way or the other. So, my 15-year goal is I want to have 35 units. So I'm looking at it, I wrote down I wanted to buy a house last year. I did not think that was going to be possible, but it happened, right? This year, my next goal is I want to get a new car, right? Because mine's getting super high mileage and I just want to get rid of it. But when you write stuff down, it really does happen. The biggest thing also is just surround yourself with people who you want to be like. Surround yourself with hustlers. I mean, you're the average of the 6 people you spend the most time with.
Your network is
your net worth is your network, yeah,
Exactly.
or vice versa.
your
whatever.
network is your net
it's all the
worth.
same.
Or vice versa.
Yeah. So just just surround yourself with people who are better than you and who want to hustle harder.
I like being the dumbest in the room. Not because I generally am, but because it's because I get to learn from the smarter people in the room, and I become a better person like that. I don't take it as like an insult. I don't walk into a room and think I'm the fucking hottest shit since sliced bread. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe sometimes I do get my fucking balls out, but like that's just me having fun. You know what I mean? And like really though, like when it comes down to, I listen to people like you. That's why you're fucking here. You know what I mean? Because I believe you have something to.
You provide some type of value.
You provide value, great value for our audience and for people around, and your family must be extremely proud of you.
Yeah, no, they're happy
And supportive of everything.
Yeah, no, they're very happy. So all my family's in Michigan and Chicago, so we're kind of out here. It's just the 4 of us: my dad, my sister, and my mom. But yeah, no, they're very happy. I'm just grateful. They've been really good supporters. Like I moved back home after college, which nobody wants to do, but I did that because I wanted to buy a house, right? Yeah. And that's another big thing is if you want to buy your house, like you got to create the budget and you got to stick to it. My big thing is I would go out once a week on the weekends, and it would suck because you would see people going out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and you're like,
kids like me.
Yeah, exactly. But like it looks like so much fun, but in reality, those people are
blowing through their cash.
They're
like
blowing
negative
through it.
cash flow.
But honestly,
negative.
We talk about Instagram and how it's all fake, but it really is all fake. I mean, I know so many people who I thought were doing really well, later to find out when I help them buy a house that they're not doing well at all.
Everyone's all tough till they ask you to your credit score.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like talking to, like I said, I'm talking to the agents now and the realtors now, and like they're like, let me see your last 3 bank statements, let me see your last 3 pay stubs, let me see this, let me see that, and I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm war ready. I'm with it. A lot of people can't do that though.
No.
A lot of people can't do that. When it comes to that,
Yep.
like you said, like I think it was QNC said this, like you dream, you plan, and then you execute. And a lot of people get to the dreaming, the planning part, but when it comes to execute, when you actually got to hand over those forms, and you actually got to show up, and you actually got to pull out with a bag, you can't do it.
That's accountability, though. You got to find someone that holds you accountable.
Yeah.
Better yet, I mean, ask your friends. Like I'm sure you guys hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
Hey, we got to get this done by this deadline. That's the biggest thing, man. Because like you don't know it, and you could be super self-sufficient, but you slack like unintentionally.
I like to have a good like balance between like I feel like what we do with the media shit is like I have to kind of be in the field.
Yeah.
Well, you're in the field, but in the sense of like I gotta be like in the clubs, I gotta be on the bars, I gotta be with the people as a regular person because that's the relate part.
Yeah.
I gotta be myself, which is the real part. But like I gotta be like with everyone. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
Do you have a business credit card?
No, I do not.
That's a write-off.
He's got to get the Chase.
Guys, what's my operations guy?
That's a write-off.
So I'm saying is for season 4.
Yeah.
The podcast is this is the end of this is season 3, but this is the end of the podcast.
Nice.
So we're gonna move now to the next like season of Real Relate, And we're gonna start doing a lot of the things that you said,
Yeah.
and he's gonna be like head of operations in the back end.
Nice.
So he'll be able to, because he's really good like with financial literacy and all this type of shit. So like he's gonna be able to push it from the business side. Like we just trademarked Real Relate.
Good for you.
We trademark. We want to do the LLC. We want to make it legit, and that's the difference between us and a lot of people that do podcasts or a lot of people that do media shit. Like we have fun on the front end. We're out in the field. We're having a good time.
Yeah.
But in the back end, there's a whole business model.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like there's shit that we want to do for it. And like again, for us, we might not be as knowledgeable as someone like you, for example, but we're learning.
Yeah.
And you gave us a whole bunch of gems today.
Oh yeah, I learned a ton today.
And I was gonna say before we come to a conclusion, I was gonna say like, dude, can you be my mentor?
Yeah. I'll hold you accountable. Then.
I don't know.
Give me a weekly goal. I'll call you. Jose, did you get this shit done?
No, I don't want to be held accountable on a weekly because you'll be disappointed. but I feel like I definitely like execute like when it comes time for it. You know what I mean? But like for me, it's
you
like,
always execute.
I always execute, but like I can't be very lazy sometimes. I can't be like a little slow sometimes. So like I'm not perfect, and I'm not like writing everything down meticulously like you are, like having a daily sheet every day.
Yeah.
Real Relate fam, you don't have to be like that. I'm still a lazy fat piece of shit, okay? But like at the end of the day though, when it comes time to execute, that's also where I do well. And it's okay to grow. I'm 25, you're 24, 25. Like we're still learning. We're young, successful professionals. You know what I mean? It's okay if you don't have a fucking sheet every day. If you have a mentor yet, find a mentor. Find something that makes, maybe you sleeping in the mornings. I'm more of a night owl.
Yeah.
While y'all sleeping at 3 or 4 in the morning, I'm fucking up. That's where I'm grinding.
Yeah.
And a lot of artists and rappers are like that too, because that's where they can lock in.
So that's part of your like ideal day, right? It's analyzing yourself and figuring out where am I most productive.
And mine, because during the day, I got a million fucking calls. Fucking FaceTiming, texting, doing a bunch of shit on top of the fact that I have a actual career business, role job out of college. You know what I mean? That I do as well too. I got to make sure I put all my energy into that. I got to make sure I put all my energy into Real Relate, and I got to make sure I put all my energy into all my other social shit, financial shit, family shit. Bro, it's a jam-packed day. I wish there were more fucking hours in the day. When daylight savings came, when they pushed that shit forward, I was like, fuck. I just lost a fucking hour. And the days go like this now.
It's so fast.
You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck, dude. So, and they trying to make that shit permanent. They're making it permanent now.
I heard that.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Also,
You're gonna get rid of it, right?
Yeah, so how it is now is just how it's going to be. They're also forcing people in Florida, like in the high schools, they're forcing
DeSantis,
They're forcing students to financial.
I am 100% for that.
I fucking so much.
100% for that.
100%.
We were talking before, but there's so many people who graduated high school not knowing how to do taxes, let alone write a personal check. Like that is absolutely bonkers.
Run
to
a
me.
budget.
Yeah, and that's something that needs to be taught.
Yeah.
And that just goes down to kind of where financial education or where education is in itself. It's trying to make you kind of an employee as opposed to making you an entrepreneur.
Yeah, and that's what I would say. Like my senior year of college, I had this professor. So my major was computer science with a core focus in economics.
You got a minor in that.
And then he would take the last 20 minutes of every class to teach us financial literacy, to teach us about doing your taxes, to write a check, like managing a budget, the 401k, like all that shit.
That's invaluable, man.
And he's like, it was a freshman class. My dumb ass was in it, but I'm in the back with the other senior, and he would always look at us and be like, you're welcome, because this is going to be shit that you're going to and honestly, because of him, like my life was better because of that. Yeah. And that's when I got introduced to like Dave Ramsey and shit like that, and like a lot of people that started to do like Grant Cardone, and stuff like that. Like there's so many successful people, and I think that like there's a stereotype. I don't give a fuck about Gary Vee. I don't give a fuck about Grant Cardone. I don't give a fuck about these people. Like those people are just hype. They're all talk. Yes. I have a lot of friends in my like immediate one of my friend groups that they despise shit like that. They think it's cringy. They think that like that type of shit is like bullshit. And they don't think you can ever be successful at. I'm like, honestly, like if you take it for what it is, just for me, you don't have to take it as like, oh my God, like I'm going to listen to everything Grant Cardone says or Gary Vee says from a fucking T. It's more like just like empowerment. Yeah. It's more like listen to positive shit to get yourself up. You know what I mean? And it's not meant for everybody. It's okay. Like, I'm not going to shit on you. I'm not like, I feel like I take things in doses. Like, I feel like the shit that Gary Vee says, I take some of it and I throw some of it out.
Yeah. There's a phrase that I like that goes,
like a cafeteria or some shit.
A bee doesn't waste time explaining to a fly why honey is better than shit.
Okay.
That shirt.
Yeah.
That I seen that. Yeah,
I've seen that.
I've seen another one, same exact analogy, but a different type of animal. Definitely like, I know what you're saying though, but that makes sense. It's true. Like, I don't have to sit here and explain this or talk to you about it. If you want to work a little 9 to 5 and go to dunks every morning and think that's the fucking peak of your fucking life, that's great for you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We need people like that. We need people that are going to be employees, people that are going to be workers.
I need consumers.
And it's not a bad thing.
I need
It's
end
just who
users.
they are,
That's just how society
And
works.
there's nothing wrong
you know?
with that. I fucking friends with half my friends are like that. 90% of my friends are like that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But like, when I try to be different or come out a little bit and try to listen to like some things that Gary Vee says or Grant Cardone or Dave Ramsey says, like, I take those pieces and then I put together what I feel like is the best. I don't agree with everything Dave Ramsey says about credit cards and
I don't.
and some said no, I don't agree with that. He's like this. What they just shit on him for being like an old white Southern fucking guy. Like I get it. I don't take everything he says, but a lot of what he said like really like fucking resonated with me. Same thing with Gary Vee and Grant Cardone.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You have to take it all. I know some of it is cringy, but like, bro, at the end of the day, like you have to empower yourself. I think, like you said, like you have to. It's okay to be cringy. It's okay to be yourself, to be weird. We're all humans. We're all fucking weird and cringe at the end of the day. Just take it in. Just fucking do it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, stop trying to put on this persona that you're like normal, because normal ain't normal. Being weird is normal. Being yourself is normal. You know, and finding who yourself is normal. Stop trying to fit into this normal that's in society. That shit ain't normal, bro. That's not. Like, you're just trying to fit in a box, and you can't put me in a box.
Just a zombie, bro.
You can't control me. You know what I mean? You can't control me. I'm gonna find like fuck a box. You know what I mean? But thank you, Jake, man.
Yeah, no
What
worries.
a
guys.
conversation we had today. I'm serious about.
I was
the
looking
mentor
forward
shit.
to this.
I'm serious about the mentor shit. I'm gonna be texting you.
Dude,
I got your number.
Hit me up anytime.
I know he's gonna have to get a burner phone for us. He's gonna all right. This phone is just for Jose.
I'll give you my business line.
Yeah, here's his number just for him because he's gonna be asking me dumbass questions. But I have two guys too. I have Ross Birch, who's also a realtor as well too, and I got Jack McCann. They kind of are in different areas when it comes to like real estate and like property management, all that type of shit. I think my sister also does it too. But I'm gonna slide you their info.
Yeah, please.
And I'm gonna slide them this interview as well. So hopefully maybe you guys can all connect and build that network and grow and shit like that.
No, I love that. I got a local meetup group, right, where it's all multifamily and investors in real estate.
Yeah.
You know, I call it a mastermind. We all come together, you know, once every couple months. It's been a little bit longer than that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I want to do it so it's a bunch of owners come together and they get to kind of talk. You know, how'd you get this property? What method did you use? I think that's invaluable.
I'm gonna have to join that.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have to join it.
I was just say Ross is located in like the Rhode Island area, and Jack is located in he does like property for big ass
commercial real estate.
Okay, for like companies and shit like that.
Yep.
He's located in New York.
Yeah.
So it would be lit if you guys could like all link up and at least talk and shoot the
Yeah,
shit.
it'd be super fun.
They're probably gonna listen to this, so. But anyway, man, Jake, thank you. Is there any last words, Jake, that you want to leave to the group, or Barbie want to leave to the group? Anything last?
Yeah,
to your family, your friends, any shout outs, anything like that?
Yeah, just keep hustling, you know, do your daily accountability and just fucking grind, man.
Just get after it.
Get after it. I was gonna say, man, see, I didn't have to give him a crazy intro because the work just spoke for itself.
Man speaks for himself.
It spoke for him. Like the fucking grind is just there, dude. You know what I mean? Like I don't gotta say nothing. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you're a great guy.
I appreciate it.
And you're a genuine ass dude. And there are real people out here that are like lead with empathy.
Yep.
And now you'll take that away and everything you'll do, you lead with empathy. But Real Relate fam, that's all we got. We coming on about like an hour. You know what I mean? Barbara Ball do the outro. Don't forget to listen on YouTube. You know, watch us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon. Tell your girlfriend about us. Tell your mom about us.
Tell your grandma.
Tell your grandma about us. Subscribe. You already know. The season is coming to an end. We're about a little more halfway through. This is the end of the podcast. We're excited. It's the new things coming on the horizon. Go ahead, Barbara.
Real Relate family, thank you for tuning in. Jake, thank you for coming on, man, and educating us. Real Relate family, until next time, peace.
Deuces.
Peace.